The impact that Barnabas Thirumeni had on my life and ministry can't really be described with enough words. Thirumeni was the one who took me as a 18, 19-year-old boy and gave me the opportunity to serve the church as a reader, even when other people thought that I couldn't rise to that position. He believed in me, and even as a young deacon, any of the success that we had with bringing the youth together was firmly set upon the confidence that Thirumeni had in me. Thirumeni defended me against other bishops and even priests who were not happy with the movement of the youth, who questioned what it is that we were doing. But as they say, the proof is in the pudding. Because of Barnabas Thirumeni, over 30 young people came forward to join the priestly ministry, and that impact has caused ripples within the church in America. Personally speaking, on numerous occasions, Thirumeni would sit me down and give me the confidence to move forward, even when there were a lot of naysayers and I faced a lot of obstacles. He told me that God is the one who put me where I am and that I shouldn't be afraid of anybody. And so I'm forever grateful to Thirumeni for that confidence, for the opportunities that he provided. I was blessed to be in his presence, to serve him as his secretary for a year, to work under him with the family conference, with the MGOCS and the Sunday school in numerous different places. All of that was possible because Barnabas Thirumeni believed that the young people from America could do great things if they were given the proper leadership and support. So Barnabas Thirumeni is forever, etched into my mind and into my heart. And even though there were ups and downs, Thirumeni never put me down. He always used the opportunities for teaching to lift me up and to encourage me, even with constructive criticism. So when I think back about Barnabas Thirumeni and special moments that he and I shared, I do have the unique blessing of spending a lot of time with him during the height of his ministry, traveling with him from church to church, listening to him talk, preparing for his sermons, living with him in the Aramena. So do I have hundreds of stories? I do. But I will share with you one of my first impressions of Thirumeni. When we were just kids, probably in high school, Thirumeni made his first visit to America. This is before he became the official bishop. And our Achin at the time had sort of given us the warning, watch out, Barnabas Thirumeni is coming. Everybody sit still, no talking, no breathing, just sit still, otherwise Thirumeni is going to yell. So for the evening prayer at someone's house, Barnabas Thirumeni came and we were frozen, like we all sat there and we were frozen. Well, the next day for Qurbana, being this eager altar boy, I was in the altar. Thirumeni celebrated Qurbana. Again, everyone was on pins and needles, not looking to get yelled at by Barnabas Thirumeni. And when he had left the sanctuary and he left his vestments and his staff and stuff out, I thought I would be proactive and I started to help fold it. And so I folded his vestments, which was fine. And then I went to take apart his staff. And his wooden staff, his first one that he brought, was very, very delicately made. It was a very lightweight wood, and with all of my enthusiasm, I went to start taking the pieces apart. I took the bottom off and put it aside, put the next piece and the next piece. And I get to the top and I'm like trying to put a little bit of weight behind the actual hook of the staff, and it wasn't budging. So put a little bit of good old American muscle behind it and snap. The hook of the staff broke into two pieces. I stood there and cried for a good 5 minutes, not knowing what to say. How am I going to explain this? This man came from India. Where is he going to get one of these things? It's broken in two pieces, and literally I held him in my hands and just stared and cried. So I slowly put it all back together, leaned it back up and left the broken piece on the side. And I came out of the altar and I sat in the first pew and I just sat there like worried and crying. Thirumeni came back upstairs along with our Achin at the time and a group of people, and he saw me sitting there crying and he said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Thirumeni, I don't know how to tell you this. I did something really, really bad." And so he said, "What did you do that was so bad that you're crying?" And I said, "Thirumeni, I broke your staff. And he said, my staff in the altar? And I said, oh Jesus, here it comes. And he said, oh, that staff was broken so many times. The part that you broke was probably the part that was super glued. The relief, first of all, but the fact that he said it with a smile, he was not angry. He understood what was happening, and quite reasonable. I think that was a good start to our relationship, but it's like my first memory of him that I will always cherish. I mean, I have numerous other stories, and whenever we have time, I can share those. So there are a few things that stood out about Barnabas Thirumeni. I think that most people will agree. He had a lot of sound bites. He came up with phrases and terms that were very unique to his ministry, to his sermons, to his teaching. Infinite potentiality is one of those words. And, I think that just speaks volumes about what he thought about the human life and the human worth. He believed that each of us had infinite potentiality to do good, to love, to care for one another, and that if we were failing at anything, we were failing at not being able to live up to that infinite potentiality. Another thing is his simplicity. I think that people who were close to him got to see a lot of it, up and personal, about what a simple person he was, how little he actually had. People have heard the stories of how when people would gift him things, he wouldn't accept those gifts because he had good, usable versions of whatever the gift was. He once received a whole kappa set from, a faithful member who was just wanting Thirumeni to have a new set of vestments. And Thirumeni took it, but he would never wear it because it was too fancy, too heavy. It was too much for him. Even the first black loha that he brought, porokopayam that he brought to America, it took a lot for us to be able to get that away from him because he refused to switch it up. It got dirty, it got torn here and there, and people would have to beg him to sort of change it. And he didn't really listen to anyone. So one day I had a heart-to-heart with him about, like the young people love him so much and they want to see him look his best. And, sometimes when we see the kupayam, there's like tears and things like that. And so it's probably best if we take it away. And Thirumeni said, but I don't have another one. This is my only one and I only want to keep one. So we did what any loving children would do. We took the old one, we got him a new one, we had it stitched for him. And the old one, he was assuming that we were throwing it away, but I kept it because that has a lot of value to me. And so I wanted to sort of share that because, the loha that he has is just a sign of his simplicity. It's got tears in it. It's got, different marks on it from his use. He used it heavily. Cold weather, hot weather, he wore that one kupayam, and until he had a brand new one and he knew the old one was no longer usable, he didn't even switch his porokopayam. So I just wanted to share that really quickly. I have it here. I kept it in this case, but the kupayam is here nicely folded. Sometimes I wonder if I take it out, it'll fall apart, but we keep it here. I keep it in my office, and just feeling it reminds me of who Thirumeni was. And ultimately, if he was here today, I think that the thing that he would remind each and every one of us was to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. That only when we do that, when we really give ourselves an opportunity to know what the other person is thinking and feeling, can we really truly love them. And in this world that we live in today, it seems like a very apt message. We have lots of people who judge other people, who hate other people, who criticize other people, who mistreat other people, who mistreat the poor, who mistreat the sick. Barnabas Thirumeni would probably remind all of us to put ourselves in the place of that other person, treat that other person as if they were better than us. And then when we do that, we will truly be able to unlock the infinite potentiality of our love for other people and realize God's love for us. But Thirumeni's simplicity is the underlying baseline of all of these things. And, it didn't mean that he was sloppy or dirty or anything like that. He was very, concerned about, was his beard straight? He was very concerned about, is his kupayam sitting properly? Is he, is something not working? Is something off? He would ask me these questions when we would travel together. But at the same time, he was not extravagant or lavish. He had pretty much one of everything. If anything, he had two of something, but that was about it. But all of that was his humility, his obedience to Christ, and the way that he showed other people that he didn't need everything if everything was able to be given to other people. So.
Oh